Even Sanford.
You can even stop quick sand guard.
Yeah. Oh, interesting draft.
You know what? Not just us. I'm pretty sure maybe a lot of these picks just from out of nowhere took even Syre and CJ by surprise. But I'm pretty sure they were willing. I think they asked their players, what are you comfortable with? Let's do that. And that's what explains the counter index on FCAP.
Yeah. I'm looking out for two sequences: post turtle, one punish, and who gets a turret broken by 5th minute.
Let's throw it over to our casters, Ingan and Naisu.
Clash of the Titans once again. A rematch we're all been waiting for. TOPH versus Falcon's AP Bren. Welcome to the English Desk. My name is Ingan. Together with me is Naisu. And we are in game number 1 for the final match of the regular season, unless there's going to be a tiebreaker. So again, with the stipulations of this match, if ever Falcon's AP Bren wins one game, not the series one game, they're automatically going to secure the 2nd seed, meaning they're going to be at the upper bracket. But if TOPH manages to sweep them, okay, we're going to have another match after this.
That's what TLPH needs. They need a sweep here, and we'll see if they're able to do it again. You saw earlier when the panel were talking about it, what happened in their first matchup against each other in the regular season. Of course, that was a sweep. That time around, of course, it was for FCAP. And so with all this, when you look at how things are going to fall into place, even with these, the poking going on early on, I like the compositions for both teams here, really, but I think, equally as much, you always have to pay attention to, obviously, the junglers. I feel like everybody, when they talk about these two teams, is the junglers themselves.
Wow.
But real quick, look at this milestone here for the Idol.
500 games total played for the Kapitan at Few. Since
the first player.
Since the first season, he was here already. If you want to talk about veterancy, this guy is leading every single player, every single veteran. That's why you know that he's the captain of Falcon's AP Bren. He has the discipline. Especially, I remember a lot of times wherein Few was actually saying, Flap TZ, just wait, something like that.
Yeah.
He has to control his XP laner. So right now, going back to the match, what do you think about this Zask Sanji? Because we haven't seen Zask for quite some time now.
I know, you remember the time when Zask was just kind of like unreal. He was picked up all the time, and then now he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Teams have opted more so for, the Vixanas, the Valentinas, the Auroras. But I would say he's still a good threat, especially for some of the lineups that go through this. It's just, you kind of got to play the part. There's the final slash coming out from Sanford. Ogwin gonna pop him with the implosion. Will go down though in the exchange. There's the raging sandstorm. Flap TZ gonna be in trouble here as they focus him down. Tries to heal up with the sand guard. Takes a couple shots and finally Sanji will pick up the kill himself. And now in trouble, Carl TZ will be able to get the turtle. Few flickers out. There's the shadow kill though as Kyle TZ picks up a kill before he gets taken down.
Wow, speaking of early game potential, TLPH picks up 3 kills, only trading 1. And look at this. They also got the turtle. Despite the aggressive response of Ogwin and Flap TZ with Ogwin's implosion and Flap TZ's AOG, that was a good solid catch for Sanford. And going back to the face-off, Sanford's really aggressive, going to be aggressive this game. He said a while ago that he woke up so good today, he's ready, he wants to go up against Falcon's AP Bren, have that rematch, have that revenge tour, and right now, TLPH rocking a 1K gold lead, and it's looking good for the Cavalry.
That's really how you want to start it, your TLPH, on this, the idea of you want to make this lineup work, obviously, and scale things up really well. You can already see, so getting closer to those first items with this nice little 1,000 gold lead that they have here. Not really going to expect too much until we get to the next turtle, though, because really when you look at the lineup even for FCAP, it's like, how do they find a pickoff with this? It's more so a response like, Ogwin's not just going to go commit his implosion, but if they force a fight, at least in the mid lane, before a turtle comes up, and they can convert it, then that's great for them.
Yeah, and apart from that, JP is also doing a good job being as aggressive as possible. This is a roamer Khalid with a 1-0-2. What? Wait.
Okay. Kyle, he at least gets the Purify out, so not going to be able to pick up a kill. But sometimes, you see this happen with Hayabusa. any of the players that do pick it up, they kind of limit test that early damage if they can, and if they get a battle spell out, great.
Yeah, especially before the neutral objective spawns here, and in 10 seconds, the second turtle will ensue. A while ago, we saw TLPH. Oh, Sanford.
There's the final slash flicker. Able to find Few right away. Good mark, good targeting there from TLPH, and this should also get him the turtle here, unless FCAP has something to say about it. They're going to force him back. There's the implosion from Ogwin. Salmon force from Super Marco to go in and secure the kill. With turtle already secured, Ogwin actually still up, finally getting down. As Sanford picks up the kill, and now he's going to be focusing on. The rest is Kyle, the next target. The jump in from Flap TZ as he has to get back, try to disengage, but the enhanced chains are too much. TLPH continues to take everything from FCAP.
Yo, Sanford, S13 Finals MVP is playing out of his mind. Another catch with the final slash, plus the follow-up kill onto Ogwin, resulting in that Carl TZ easy turtle take once again. Sanford's really activated early on, and this is what you want if you have a highly mechanical skilled player in the form of Sanford. You want to give him something like an Arlot that can easily outplay, come out of nowhere with a final slash. And that's what you do if you're TLPH, ride on the momentum. And we can recall that the previous series that they played, all their games, or most of their games, are actually fast. It ended fast because of the Liquid Stampede, because of their former identity, Echo Express. They're bringing it back, and it looks like for this game, they're also bringing it back, Naisu.
Yeah, they play very quickly, decisively. TLPH, it took them a little bit to find the adjustments. Now here, look at the damage once again. Flap tries to buy some time. They're going to jump in. Eternal Guard drop down with the shadow kill. Through Destruction going to be used as well, and Benny Cutie going to join the fight. Firing off here on the backside, and now Ogwin trying to get there in time.
Oh,
Raging
JP.
Sandstorm, though, will be able to catch Kyle TZ under the turret. JP finally getting punished himself. Still working on things together. Super Marco joining the fight, focusing down Sanji. Carl TZ's there. Tries to help disengage, but has to get out. Benny Cutie, where's he going to go? Super Marco, the target, throws him in, takes the damage. Ogwin's still there too. Dashes on in with the implosion, and we'll be able to find Benny Cutie.
Okay, but Carl TZ wants to go for the counter kill though. And just like that, Falcon's AP Bren was able to answer back the patience of Ogwin. Knows the Purify isn't there. Sacred Hammer then commits the implosion to feed him off to Super Marco for the kill. And this time it looks like Falcon's AP Bren can contest for this turtle. That was a long extended clash. Started things off with a Flap TZ AOG onto a same position. Managing to outsustain the damage of TLPH now. I know Sanford wants to go in with a final slash flicker combination again to pick one off before they start the neutral objectives. And JP, good response also, but here comes Ogwin with Sacred Hammer.
Yeah, once again, they're going to start things up, zoning it out. Raging Sandstorm on the backside. Ogwin, the target. JP just trying to buy some time. They didn't start the turtle. They didn't commit to it. They just want to fight it out. Forcing FCAP down. A couple members, less than half health, but they'll heal back up with a Revitalize. It's still going to be used as well. There's the implosion. It's right on Sanford. They're going to commit everything on him, trying to get the kill, and Kyle TZ has to get out. Meanwhile, Benny Cutie's pushing the turrets on the tier 2 at the bottom. He could join the fight anytime, but this looks like TLPH going to be able to get this third turtle. Kyle TZ just checking things out with Quad Shadow, and he'll give that up. Meanwhile, backside Few gets forced out.
Wow, they didn't even need Benny Cutie the whole time. He didn't even bother to cast a Spear of Destruction because JP did a wonderful job zoning out Falcon's AP Bren, Sanford soaking up the damage, and just like that, TLPH got all neutral objectives. And to top things off, Benny Cutie was left alone on the bottom lane, got 2 turrets, extending their lead back to 3.7k. Before that clash, Falcon's AP Bren was able to trim it down to 1k. But with the performance, with the absolute masterclass macro performance of TLPH, they're just continuing to dominate this game. Very fast rotation. Looking at the items, we can already see a huge gap between, not as huge, but the gold lane is in favor for Benny Cutie, despite them having a Moskov compared to Super Marco's Harith.
You know, this is a scary thing too here, is like the rise of this Khalid roam, man. You see how many times we've seen fights just kind of start up, or and I'm not just talking about JP here, but this weekend alone, and even to the first time the Khalid Roam popped up, man, like, it is a nuisance to deal with. It's annoying for teams to have to deal with. Where is this Raging Sandstorm going to come through? Yeah. And there's a lot of good combinations with it, too. And that's why, you know, this surprise factor from TLPH's lineup, where it's either the final slash flicker combo or, like I just mentioned with the Raging Sandstorm, there's so many options and angles that TLPH can utilize with the composition. And so it's FCAP being the responsive ones. And so far in a lot of these skirmishes and these earlier team fights, they've actually responded pretty well to them. It's just my question is, as the game goes on, how long can they go? Oh, JP, though, just as I was mentioning, does get spotted out and they keep things together. We're 10 seconds away from the Lord, though.
Ideally, I mean, before we'd used to say, but wait a minute, because Kaltese goes in with a wee shadow kill.
That's a whole lot of damage. Defensive. Raging Sandstorm on out of there. JP's going to be fine. Should be able to reset. Lord is up here, though, so FCAP going to get in position.
You know, a couple of weeks back, we had reservations when it comes to the Roam Khalid because it's not as tanky. But the thing is, if you cast the quick Sand Guard and you're unbothered, you're uninterrupted, it's going to be tanky enough to soak up the damage that your opposing teams can do. And that's what JP has been doing. That's why, despite him being as aggressive, being the front line for TLPH, he only has one death, but right now goes in the picture.
There's the spear once again. Benny Cutie going to be joining the fight. Gets the spear. The misery off, and Sanford will go in, pick up the kill, and turn. Now with one down, TLPH can just go ahead and start up this Lord. It should be theirs. Not sure if FCAP can do anything. Conceal's going to be used from Ogwin. Wants to lead the charge, but sees that Lord's already down. And they go back in to re-engage Ogwin under the turret. Huge setups, though. Trying to follow through, but few gets caught out with the final slash. A good attempt there from FCAP. But now they got to deal with this Lord push coming through as they hold down the mid.
Despite the chain crowd control from Falcon's AP Bren, even under their first tier turret in the middle lane, they weren't able to burst down any member of the cavalry. That's how huge the economy gap is right now. 6K gold lead for TLPH. They're lacking the damage, lacking the sustain. TLPH has the Lord right now marching down bottom as Benny Cutie makes quick work of that mid lane turret. And now you have to rely on Ogwin to get that amazing miracle implosion set. But right now, TLPH has a lot of kit to counterattack that. Credit again to JP with the crucial Raging Sandstorm. But if we know Falcon's AP Bren, you know this team can bounce back at any given moment. One crucial set from Ogwin is what you need.
And that's the thing, even with this, we'll see if they're able to hold it together. There can always be a forced initiation from TLPH, and that's what we've been talking about with the lineup the whole game. Lord's finally going to get taken care of. That's fine. They keep it together. They hold on to the base turrets for now. And FCAP will go ahead and buy themselves some more time. But anytime we see this, the gold difference between the lanes, how things are falling into place, this is where the tricky part is, Ingan. You know, you have these Winter Crowns being picked up, eventually some more of the defensive items, the Wind of Natures and everything, what have you. You have to work across that. Conceal going to be used from Ogwin again. Jumps on forward. Might get caught out by himself here. Won't be able to escape. Flap jumps in as well, and now they're going to be forced to fight. Flap holding down the front side, cut off from the team. Almost gets Sanji. But two go down for FCAP as TLPH cleans that fight up.
It's not looking good for the M5 World Champions against the defending MPL Philippines champions as TLPH continues to dominate this game. A good catch onto Ogwin. Flapteezy again was forced to use the AOG to try and save Ogwin or initiate a counterattack, but TLPH was ready for it. They wanted to go for a trade onto Sanji, but Sanji was able to escape. Slither of a health left, and TLPH is really playing this game to perfection. And in 30 seconds again, they can actually end this with one Lord, because right now, you can already feel the damage coming in from Benny, from Carl, even Sanford alone. And if you're Falcon's AP Bren, do you contest for this Lord?
I think, you know, at this point, man, you knowing FCAP, they probably will. They'll probably try. I just feel like even when they've tried a couple times, Ingan, the timing has been off. That's the problem. Like, by the time they find that window and they try to get in position, it's, you know, TLPH going back to what you just mentioned, you know, earlier in the portion of the game where it's that express that we were used to seeing before, and now it's just this kind of stampede, this rush. that they play around with. They're very decisive for TLPH, and they've had improvements just in the second half of the regular season alone. So it looks like they're really locked in here.
Okay, all battle spells are available except for Sanford's Flicker. So Ogwin can make a setup here along with Flapteezy's AOG as TLPH works on the Lord. Oh, look at JP just going right after Kyle Teasy.
Gonna go for him. JP defensively once again. Flap will jump in. There's the implosion though. Ogwin will be able to find a couple of members. Spirit Destruction on the backside. Benny Cutie follows up. He's trying to get few. Gets cut off though. Benny could be in trouble. Pops the Purify. Has enough damage as well as Kyle jumps in with the shadow kill and picks up multiple kills. It's only Carl Teasy left alone. So a big trade, the 4-for-2 in favor of FCAP.
You can't count out the heart of a champion. Ogwin again with a huge implosion play. And as we can see in the instant replay brought to us by Infinix, that was a good setup onto 3, forcing a lot of Purifies. Benny Cutie though, Spear of Destruction will connect. That's why he was able to dish out the damage. But Flapteezy Super Marco made quick work of TLPH, leaving Carl Teasy left to fend for himself, but they got the Lord as Falcon's AP Bren just bursted it down, slowly trimming down the lead of TLPH, and with this, you know that Falcon's AP Bren can go head-to-head when it comes to 5v5 clashes.
Should be able to. Again, you know, this we're talking about, they were down pretty big deficit. They still have a lot of work to do, though. FCAP still has a ton of work to turn this game over. Again, we're only talking about they have one turret, mind you. One turret top side. That's about as much room that they have to work with here. So that's not much at all, and now they got to get ready for this defense. Pull things through. Sanford jumps in again. The final slash going to be able to find the mark. The jump in through as Ogwin's already taken out now and again in the backside. Flap's still up, still going forward. Super Marco will pick up a kill, but Carl Teasy's in the base, and he's wrecking havoc on FCAP. The 1-for-3 trade this time around. TLPH still showing that they want to fight these.
Okay, so that's why TLPH lost the initial clash before that, because Sanford's Flicker wasn't available. And right now that it's available, he was able to make a huge play. Now they have minions onto the middle lane.
Gonna work on that mid turret. Phew, Kyle Teasy, what can they do? Trying to keep things together. The base turrets are at least gonna go down for now. They'll manage the waves the best they can. They hold on to one base turret after everything on the bottom side.
You know, it's week number 8. Oh, Sanford catches Kyle!
Ooh, very close. Raging Sandstorm from JP. The juke comes out though, but Kyle's gonna get caught anyway as Benny Cutie will land the Spear Destruction right on the mark. Still goes. And again, only Kyle Teasy gets taken out. The trade though, JP for Kyle. Again, TLPH showing that they mean business, man.
That was well worth it for the Cavalry. Again, another crucial final slash for Sanford in a good chase by JP to bring down Kyle Teasy. Also forced out the Ovigi Shadow kill. So right now, TLPH, once again, they ballooned up their lead back to 8.4K. And with that, they're going to set themselves up prettily easy in this Lord Pit. Again, 2 inhibitors are down for Falcon's AP Bren, so they also have to worry about the split push potential that Benny Cutie is known for. When you talk about backdoor, which team do you think about? Of course it's going to be TLPH. So Falcon's AP Bren has a lot on their plate right now. Will they contest? Will they be able to contest? Can they prevent the backdoor potential of Benny Cutie? And can they turn things around for game number 1?
We'll see here. Lord for the Taken's going to be started up. TLPH, you know, FCAP's here. You got to keep an eye on JP. Where is he also going to go? Once again, Ogwin could be in trouble. Below half health, but Lord takes a little bit of a reset. And right now, just look at the zoning that Sanji's able to do as well with a little Nightmare spawns here. Keep it together. 1/4 on the health. There's the implosion. The setup is there. Still going to commit to it. Raging Sandstorm to follow through. Carlo gets the Lord. They're losing the fight, though. Still working for it. Enhanced Chain's going to be able to find 2 on the knockup. And Kyle still going in. Gets a couple immortalities to work with. But TLPH once again gets the objective, the 2-for-2 trade.
A 2-for-2. Despite the huge implosion play from Ogwin, the problem was they weren't able to get Benny Cutie. Benny Cutie was just freely free hitting the members of Falcon's AP Bren. The Lord marching into the middle lane. Just 3 members for the base to defend.
See what Super Marco can do if he can channel the birthday
JP.
buff. There's the setup from JP. Ogwin keeps them together with the implosion. Kyle and Super Marco collapsing down, looking for the kills. Carl's still going to be quite healthy. Has to deal with, but it's 2 versus 1. Lord's working on the base. They should be able to clear it in F-cap. Able to successfully defend, but they'll lose all their base turrets at this point.
The birthday buff of Super Market, though. Look at the KDA. 913 for this Harith and a huge defense. They have another chance to redeem themselves for game number 1. But the problem is they lost all inhibitor turrets and they're only able to take 2 away from TLPH. But with this potential push, they can actually do more. And looking at the items, Marco now has the lead over Benny Cutie, making quick work onto the middle lane as 3 members of Falcon's AP Bren are pushing in.
Look at this push. Running it down mid, gets some turrets that they needed. Focusing on the top side too. Again, up until this point, they only had 1 turret down. So you got to give it up for F-cap, the determination to stay in the game, even when they were down massive gold lead for TLPH. They've more or less evened things out at this point.
Man, there's something with week number 8. I mean, how many games have we seen go this long? A lot of successful base defenses, even without inhibitor turrets, even when you think that the game could finally end. Look at the gold lead of Liquid. It was 9K a while ago, now it's 1.2.
That's sad. I don't know, man. I in that last defense, I was like, let's see if he can channel the birthday buff. I'm pretty sure he channeled it. He got to channel it some more, though, to win the game here. And F-cap wins this game. That's going to be an amazing turnaround, flipped over on its head.
Okay. Important to note where Ogwen is positioned right now. He's going to provide a lot of vision for Falcon's AP Bren, and they can potentially make a play. And for TOPH, the name of the game is again macro, lane control. Benny Cutie can just easily create slow pushes that could build up, make a potential backdoor play, force Falcon's AP Bren to react, and give Carl TZ an easy time with this Lord as it spawns in 2 seconds. Okay, looking at the neutral objectives, 3 turtles was secured by Carl, 3 Lords was secured by Carl again, and Kyle TZ goes in, forcing JP's Raging Sandstorm. That's 46 seconds cooldown, I believe.
Yeah, he gets that out. Good enough to deal with. There's the setup again, an implosion coming out from Ogwen. Gonna be able to find 2. Bringing him into the air. Flap takes the front side. JP trying to find out Sanford. Final slash would be taken out by Super Marco again. An F-cap full force, completely healthy. Wins a battle against TLPH. And this is a clear signal to take the Lord now. Benny Cutie gonna get taunted. Flap's gonna be able to find him. Benny firing off, pops the Wind of Nature. Throws the Spear of Destruction, but he's got nowhere to go. Meanwhile, look at Carl TZ. Is he going to try to make a play up here against Few? Enhanced chains are there. Few cuts him off, tries to help the rest of the team, comes to help him through. Meanwhile, down, and JP goes down as well. The cross-map battle as Kyle takes out JP, and F-cap will keep Carl TZ at bay as well.
A wipeout for Falcon's AP Bren. Few will fall down though as Kyle TZ and Super Marco works on this Lord. Amazing macro decisions for the Bees. A huge catch once again for Ogwen with the implosion play, bringing down the San duo. Sanford, Sanji now has spawned. They have time to defend the potential push of the Bees. And just like that, Falcon's AP Bren now has a 6.2k gold lead.
I know people are going to see Super Marco's KDA here, 11-1-4, but man, I got to give it up to Ogwen. The implosions have been on point for maybe the past like 8 minutes or so at this point. I mean, he is doing a phenomenal job at catching the right marks, and even Flap TZ to jump forward to cut off that follow through once Ogwen catches a couple members has been on point.
Ogwen.
Now the launch once again to the base. Mid-turret going to be worked on. Ogwen at the front of it all, an implosion again. Kyle TZ going to follow through. Raging Sandstorm from JP as JP goes down. Lord's still going to be up. 4 members of TLPH on the defense. F-cap. What more will they take trying to push down that bottom wave. They know TLPH can still fight back even without JP.
Okay, Ogwen doesn't have his implosion as well as Super Marco Zamanfor. So in terms of initiation, Falcon's AP Bren needs to wait for the cooldown of their ultimates, but they have a fat minion up top. They can force the takedown on the inhibitor turrets up top and on the bottom lane as Kyle TZ works on it as well. We can hear already the crowd supporting Falcons. AP Bren
There
and
it is. Ogwen again jumping in. Eternal Guard going to be dropped down. Sanford running back. Turret goes down already. And FCAP happy with the push. Are they going to go for the last turret here? The wave is pushing in. JP almost up. Final slash won't land, but the avatar of the Guardian will as Flap TZ jumps in. Kyle TZ still holding down the mid lane. Winter Crowns and everything else going to be popped, and Benny Cutie firing back. Sanford gets a stun off on the Vengeance and Few. Pops the Winter Crown himself, but Kyle TZ will save him from the demise of Benny Cutie, and Carl tries to pull something off, but gets punished again as FCAP pays them back, turns things around, and the birthday buff is real as Super Marco gets a triple, 14-1 and 6. And Sanji, he's all alone. I don't think he has enough nightmare spawns to keep FCAP at bay for a victory they surely deserve as the base is worked on, and they take game number 1.
When these two teams face off at each other, you know something's gonna happen. A comeback win for Falcons AP Bren. And actually, it's kind of poetic, because if you would recall, Game 4 of the S14 Grand Finals, it was Sanji